Hello, friends. It's Thursday. I'm back. I love y'all so much. Every nice comment, every nice message. I feel like I get to know the best people. I say that every time, but it's so true. It's absolutely worth doing, making embarrassing myself online just to meet people like y'all. And hopefully, actually, very soon, I'm about to meet with one of my dearest friends and clients up in Canada who's like a computer genius who has offered to help me set up a forum slash message board where we can all connect to each other like privately or more like you're gonna be able to just, talk about your spiritual experiences and in a way that's a little more, you're not just commenting and it's not just to me because I feel like I get to know all the cool stuff y'all are doing. But this way you could get to know each other, which would be amazing. And it wouldn't be like on Facebook or anything. Okay, so stay tuned. We're about to meet about that. And the topic today, I was planning on doing this. It's our Psychics Charlatans. And I was planning on doing this. And then I had a session with the sweetest client who I've seen a few times. And she had a really tough experience with a psychic. And I was like, this is what I was going to talk about this week. So the idea that psychics are charlatans is something I heard from my skeptical friends. They like any psychic or anyone that's doing work like this is just absolutely making it up. And sadly, that does happen. But there's also people that do it and really are good at it and really sincere and take it very seriously. So I'm going to talk about like the different things I've thought about with that. Um, I do know and have gotten like really truly accurate, really beautiful sessions and readings with people. Um, and my number one ultimate like type of psychic or a reader or a healer that I like to go to has like two sides of it where they are like on a spiritual healing journey slash connected to God and centered in that love, that like eternal love, and they're accurate. Um, so that's like the number one is like you want someone who's accurate and walking the walk, like actually on a spiritual path. People that I know like that would definitely be Suzanne Giesemann. I had a dream to study with her when I was reconnecting with my spiritual experience, and she's so tuned in and so connected and really walking the walk of like true spiritual connection and awareness and, God. So we don't have to use the word God, but y'all know I use that because I wrote it in my journal. Um, so love her. She's beyond accurate. I had a reading with her. I was on her wait list for 6 years, and part of me wants to post the recording because her accuracy is insane. And it's just all done from a place of love. So that's like what you want to look for. I consider myself, I work to be at that level. I'm going to talk like the second part of this video is going to be how I do my sessions and the way I've changed them over time. But if you're looking to get a session with someone, you might want to look, have they had a near-death or spiritual experience? Or are they walking that path? And then it's going to be coming from a really good place. Because level 2 of readings, I've gotten readings with people who aren't necessarily like they're accurate, but they maybe didn't have an NDE, or they're accurate and they're not necessarily like as plugged into the light, which isn't bad, but it's like I had a session like that with someone, very accurate, but I didn't leave feeling like more whole, which is kind of the goal. For me, at least, it's like helping you feel more whole, helping you feel more of the beautiful self that you are and feel joyful. That's like the ultimate point of all of this. Um, so that's like level 2. And it's not bad. It's just, since I'm so aware of energy, it's kind of nice to have someone who's got like the connection of love and the accuracy, but just the accuracy is okay. If it's like neutral, the level down would be accuracy, but trying to take your money. So the client that I love, she had a really accurate session. This lady was saying all this stuff she couldn't have known, but then she told her she had a curse on her and she needed to pay her a bunch of money to get it off. So you'd never need to pay anyone money to take a curse off of you. So just know that right now, if that's happening to you, you don't need to do that. I had another friend I knew a while ago that basically what happens is like when you're in the spiritual world and you want to learn things and you're open-minded, I think it's easy to be taken advantage of, not because you're a bad person, but because, you're learning and exploring. So that's a bummer that people would actually do that. Um, so yeah, the accuracy plus kind of the shadiness of trying to get your money. And that's really probably, to me, the worst one. Then the lowest level would be not accurate and trying to take your money, which at least like they're not accurate at all, but that's also kind of bad. But it's when people trick you like, oh, they know this stuff, but also they're going to tell you something wrong, like that you have to pay them extra money. I would just be aware. The number one thing, that's why it's always coming through in my angel messages to know how you're feeling. Because you need to know, am I feeling more in alignment with love and joy? I had to learn that for myself too, because when I was starting out, even though it's having this spiritual experience, I didn't know who to talk to about it besides my stepdad, really. He's the only person I really trust about any of that. But it's like, oh, everyone's going to tell you they know the right way. That's it. So everyone's going to tell you they know the right way. But what really is that you know the right way. You're a sacred, beautiful being, and you don't need anyone. You don't need to pay anyone to know that about yourself. Like God's love is free. Love is free. You're beautiful. And that's just like the ultimate number one. So obviously you want to go to a reader that knows that about you. That's going to be like, oh, you're a beautiful soul. Let's hang out and see if I can give you some messages or help you on your journey. Not because you're going to get in really big trouble if you don't, but just because maybe it's going to support you in a way. So that's, I think, important to think about. I had one person, I usually want to find out if when I work with someone for the first time, if they've ever had a session, like what I do, because I just want to know, what's their comfort level, what's their experience. And I had one person say, and no shade, I really don't want to throw shade on anyone, but she said, I've had one reading before and I just had to send my questions in to the psychic, and she typed them into ChatGPT and then sent me the answers back. So that was like, and I mean, I think she might have liked that session, and so I don't want to judge anybody for that. But as someone who like spends a lot of time working on this, it's kind of sad, or it was kind of like, oh, okay, well, I guess you could do that. But the idea is that you're already a beautiful, beautiful soul, and maybe you need a session, or you want a session to help you connect with the love, or get a little deeper in part of your journey. But you don't need to you don't need to give anyone all your money because you have a curse. And thankfully this client of mine who had that happen at a psychic knew that. She was like, but wait, I'm connected to God. She's like really into near-death experiences and she's very faithful. And she said, but wait, I'm love. And the lady was like, oh, but no. But thankfully that's really what you would call discernment. Like she knew that she didn't need to go any further with that woman. But I think people try to confuse you. So I think that's it. It's really hard to know what to listen to, I think, especially when you're starting out on the journey and you want to get guidance. We all want to get guidance. And it's helpful, obviously, number one, the best thing for you. But just, even though I do this work, sometimes I have sessions with people or readings because I don't always know, it's hard to, sometimes I just need some help. Like my friends and I, we trade all the time, and it's fun and it's supportive and it's awesome, really. So when you're looking for us to get a session with someone, just look for. I basically decided recently that if I'm ever going to get a reading or a healing or a session, I want the person to have had some kind of connection or healing journey, like near-death experience, spiritual awakening experience, where you're just, that they're going to be carrying that frequency of love. But that's not everybody needs that. Like, that shaman I worked with in grad school, he's one of the most psychic people I've ever known. Like he sees so much and it's insane. But when I first started, I did tell my friend who was an atheist, she was like, that guy's a charlatan. And I was like, oh, is he? But it's actually, there are people, this is a human ability. It's a human ability to have, sixth sense and all that. We're supposed to be moving into it more and more. And, yeah, I think there are people with real psychic abilities, and are you using it from a place of integrity and like support and wholeness and love, or are you using it just to get people's money? And that's really what to look for. So I'm going to tell you all how I do my sessions. This is already almost 10 minutes, but just for fun, I have, I used to do separate readings, separate healings, and then in prayer, I've received in separate coaching. And then I was received that I should really just combine it all and call it Sacred Soul Session. And that's where the way I run my sessions is I open to the light and love and creator and bring in all the light I felt in my spiritual experience. And then I feel the angels next to me. And I just they guide me for healing, they guide me for messages, and people will just start crying because they're feeling so connected to love. And I'm not like I don't technically do psychic readings. I receive messages for the person's soul, and sometimes they're like pretty psychic, but they're not. I don't know. It's an honor. It really is it's just what I learned in my journey, and I just hold space for that. Um, I have had to, I said this in an interview this week that I've had to change the way I do readings. So I used to bring in the light, invite in the angels and guides and creator, and then connect my heart to the sitter's heart. And the only really bad reading I had, really bad, it's like I couldn't really see because the sitter and that's the person you're reading for or sitting with, no judgment, because I've been in this place, but they were in a deep place of depression. And once I connected my heart to their heart, I couldn't see anything. It was like going into a storm almost, and everything was cloudy. And I kept trying and I kept trying, but I learned that after that day, and I talked with my friend who's like the most amazing born medium. Like she just has all these psychic dreams. She knows so much. She's incredible. Her name's Leah. Hi, Leah. I She said, "Oh no, you probably don't want to do that. You don't want to connect your heart to the sitter's heart." And now I just only, obviously we sit in a place of love and I'm with them, but I have to keep my energy totally connected to heaven the entire time, or connected to source light. Because otherwise, if the person's in a really happy place, I'm like, oh, this is super clear. I can hear everything. It's a vibration. When you're in a vibration of love, that's why I have to start with that visualization where we bring the light through, because the angels and guides, they live at this high like frequency. I have to get into alignment with it to hear it. Should I try to live that way every day? I do try, but I also have a regular life. And so I have to actively, like, I don't want to tune into anything before I've gotten that clear. Um, Other things that are fun, and I might teach a class on this because I brought it up recently and someone was curious, like you do certain training, like you train on visualization skills. So I do that, where you visualize what rooms look like when you're not there, you visualize what your house looks like, you visualize the yard, and you just start to be able to see, like, practice, because once you're in the state of a session, you're seeing, you have to be able to see pretty clearly with your eyes closed for the spiritual messages. And then the other one that's fun to do is like concentration. I have to be able to concentrate for long periods of time and hold that thread, like hold the concentration. And so you work on meditating, praying, just sitting in concentration and being able to like keep your mind focused. Another one is, well, what I've had to work on is relaxing enough to hear the messages and then talking with the person, because I don't like actually like fully trance. I just hear, talk, hear, talk. And so it is like switching between brainwave frequencies pretty fast, but that's pretty fun. And so anyway, the sessions are to me like a very intellectually interesting thing to do, because it takes like practice and it takes training. And I'm a big nerd. I do have a master's from an Ivy League school. I'm not going to do a shitty session. If I do, I'm horribly embarrassed. So, sorry to curse. So it's fun to explore and expand these abilities. They're really all very human, and I really hope one day I won't need to do these sessions anymore, or maybe it will just be like just part of something that everyone can do. But sometimes you want, like you go to a restaurant, even though you could cook at home. Like I eventually I want everyone, the goal is that everyone will be able to hear their angels and guides and creators, yearnings and leanings. So I don't, I'm not special. I'm not special. I just had a trauma and I had an experience, a spiritual experience while I was healing, that maybe know what those angels felt like and know what all this feels like, what it is like experientially. But hopefully we're all going to be doing that. I would hope. I think that's it. I've talked like at length about how I know what I'm talking to. It's basically vibrational, and it's like love, peace, frequency, which we all need to kind of know what that is, because it's beyond words. And yeah, I think that's it. I hope that helps you. Please don't ever feel like you need to pay someone a bunch of money to fix your life. You don't. Your life is fixable with God, source, creator, angels, like right away. You're just beautiful already. And I only charge because it's for my time. I've said this before, but like I don't charge for I can't charge for healing. There's no price on that. I can't charge for God. There's no price on that. I'm a single mom. I work at a public school and I don't do this. So I charge by the hour to like sit with me. But you don't actually need me. And that's how you know I'm a good reader or an honest person. Okay, I really want to stop this video because it's already 15 minutes, but the last thing I'll say is my stepdad before he actually, yeah, quite before he passed, but he wrote me a whole long little book about how to be a, healer or walk with the medicine, even though I'm not in that culture. But he was my stepdad and he had these dreams that I would be doing this. And so I think people think, wow, what did he write you in that thing? It was really, all it was you have to have integrity. You have to be like honest. You have to completely connect with God every day and pray all the time. I mean, that's really all it was. It was like all these things. It was like, pray, be honest, have integrity. One of them was be serious, but I don't think he meant, I'm not gonna be able to be as serious as like what his culture has these people be like. I hope he understands. But that was it. It seems like, oh, is it this the magical thing? No, it's like you just have to be honest and connect with God. The end. And so, and it's all, oh, and he also said, never take credit. If I do anything for anyone, I give all the credit to God. It's not for me. And that's it. So that's what I do. And I'm not going to give you 100 accurate things that are going to happen in the future, but I will bring you messages for your soul and healing for your soul to help you be more in alignment with who you really are, which is love, and just be really walking the path that you were born to walk. Okay, that's what I do. If you want to have a session, you can book with me or come hang out. I have all this stuff kind of coming. I'm kind of building what I do. I'd love your feedback. Have you gotten a bad reading from someone? Have you gotten a good one? Do you have someone you'd recommend that you think is like top tier? I would love for you to put their name in the comments because let's just build each other up. Or you as a reader and you take sessions with people, put your name down there. And hopefully soon you'll be able to put it in a forum. I'll keep y'all posted. Okay, bye.